Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. We're excited that you've joined us as we have a conversation. We found that a good conversation allows us to share what's on our mind, whether current events, what's grinding our gears, or our pet peeves.
It also allows us to share our top 3, a list of our favorite things on any given subject, most of which are highly opinionated. In closing, we share a good word. Solid friendships are encouraging. Even if we joke and give each other a hard time, our ultimate responsibility is to uplift each other.
Our goal is that you'll feel like you're part of the conversation, like you were in the studio with us, and that you feel encouraged after tuning in to our podcast. It's time to join the conversation.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of the Hardheaded Podcast. My name is Troy Trussell, and with me, as always, is Matt Amos and Mr. Chet Sears. And today we have a special guest.
Folks.
Returning is Mr. Chris Broughton. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. It's my first time in studio.
In studio, yes.
In studio.
Yeah, glad to
The
have
people
you.
get to see the face
That's right.
to go with the
Blessed
voice.
are the people. It's a big day for me. It's the first time I've gotten to meet Mr. Matt Amos in person.
Yeah.
He's only been a mythological figure before today.
Scoot up closer to the microphone for us.
Oh, you got to be right on it.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you
Like
go.
you're singing hits.
You have to eat the microphone.
That's right.
Okay, I didn't know it was like I'm staying in the police.
There you go.
I don't know.
Don't stand so. Don't stand so close to me.
I thought you were referencing Sting from like WWE or whatever it is.
I mean, I could reference him.
No, we're good. We're good.
Awesome. Well, today we got a What's on Your Mind from Mr. Matt Amos.
Yep.
Then we're going to do top 3 Vietnam War movies.
Yes. Yes.
And then, Chet, you're going to bring us a good word. Is that correct?
You got it. You got it down. You have prepared.
I came prepared.
Yeah.
I wonder what's on Matt's mind.
I wonder if Matt prepared.
Probably not, but that's par for the course, folks.
Well, I'm always prepared because on this day, it's my day. So
That is correct.
It's very fitting that I have
There is a birthday today.
the host
That's right.
or the What's on My Mind segment today, because today is the Marine Corps birthday.
That's right.
Oh, make it about Matt.
November 10th.
And not one of you
What year?
has told me 1775, but not one of you has told me happy birthday.
And I'm not gonna.
Because it's not your birthday.
Yes, it
You
is.
weren't. You weren't
It's-
born.
I am the Marine Corps.
Oh, man.
So, and then that, so our top 3 Vietnam War movies, there might be a Marine one in there from my end
Okay.
coming up. But first off, I guess what's on my mind is we already kind of started this in a chat where you guys were trying to berate me based on my love of a certain sport
No, we never berate you.
all the time.
You may
in that
feel
text. Matter of fact, I said I was going to be late today because
Because of it.
just because I wanted to be a jerk.
But we weren't berating you. We probably were just stating facts.
No, you weren't stating any facts whatsoever. So anyway, I'm going to catch Broughton up. So
Wait, ask Broughton a question first of what the letters mean and see if he knows.
Okay. Oh, so there's a league, and it's called the NWSL.
I'm going to go with National Women's Soccer League.
Boom.
Wow. Awesome.
Why would you go with that?
Because
Because it had a W in it.
No.
I'm clairvoyant.
He said, he's like, what are we talking about today? And I'm like, I think Matt's bringing up some stupid, tell me what this means, NWSL. And he's like, I can't remember, but it was disparaging. It was derogatory, whatever it was you said. And then I had to explain it was the National Women's Soccer League. And then I was like, and Matt wants to talk about something that Troy and I had to Google just to figure out what it was. Carry on.
I don't remember what I said, but that wasn't my first guess.
I'm waiting.
Wait, did you hear that? That was everybody stopping in the episode going on to another one.
They're just hitting the 30-second button to get through.
Skip.
Wait until get to Vietnam.
And we're still talking about women's soccer.
Well, I mean, whatever.
Oh,
I get
yeah.
excited about high school football. I get excited about just sports in general. But the Kansas City Current, which is the team, the women's professional team here in Kansas, went and played for their
In Kansas or in Missouri?
I think they're Missouri side, but they're the Kansas City Current.
The Chiefs are Missouri side too. Let's get that out of the way.
Basically,
All right.
I think Kansas in general should just own, like we should just take over that section anyway.
But I think the men's MLS team is Kansas side.
I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been a little while since I've been to a Sporting or United, whatever they are now, game. But so the Current went and played, and I didn't know that this was even a thing until I saw the articles on Facebook. And so I started reading, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna catch that game. That's pretty cool," because the league's been around for like 10 years, and the Current is actually the first team in women's soccer history to have a stadium solely built for women's professional sport to play in. And it's still in construction. I don't think it's done yet, but they're the first ones to have this done. And so I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And they weren't expected to make the championship or anything like that. And so I was like, oh, my daughter plays soccer. And so I decided to watch this game. So I get into the game, and of course there's women are announcing the game, and then they start getting into, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then they started losing me. So then it became all about,
why'd they lose you? Like, what'd they do to lose you?
women. They were all.
What did they do to get you?
Well, first off, they had
I still haven't heard anything about.
His daughter plays soccer. That's
Yeah?
that's the end.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's what got me, because they just play a different style really than men's soccer, and it's interesting to see the differences between the two and how they play.
Elaborate.
Well, men's soccer is a lot faster. There's a lot more sprinting and trying to outrun somebody, and
A lot more pay.
the highest paid athlete in the world is a men's soccer player, but just the way that they pass the ball, it's just interesting to watch them play. And I was like, okay, I could get into this until it was, we're here for all women. We're here for this, and basically women power and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, well, all right, but 50% of your audience is or your market could be men. So why are you just hammering on this? I mean, the men's professional sports don't focus on just men. They try to encompass everybody.
I don't know if they do.
As fans.
They focus on fans. They don't focus on.
But what I'm saying is they're alienating a fan base, because they were so far into it. I was tired of hearing about it through about the first half, and I was like, I'm about done with this. And then I found out that they had a station out in front where you could sign and write a card to Brittany Griner, a well-wishing card, and send it to Russia because she's in prison. And I was like, so now they're gonna try to get political on the deal, because the Griner thing's more political than it is anything else. And I was like, I could do without it now. And so a league that had all this stuff starting up, and they were starting to grow, and they're starting to get larger and larger, they're focusing on the wrong things. Instead of growing the sport and growing a fan base, they're already alienating people, which has destroyed other professional sports.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the direction that I
want to go with.
what they
should focus on?
Playing good
Soccer.
Playing
You know what
good.
the NFL should focus on? Football. You know what the Major League Baseball should focus on? Baseball. Like it's pretty easy.
Let's keep going. What should hockey focus on?
Hockey. Yeah, quit getting political,
But,
and
I mean,
sexist and whatever.
And sports used to be kind of like the escape from all that. I mean, they've always had the kind of the national pride. Baseball anyway has kind of been like, that's the American pastime, and there was always a certain amount of pride there. And we talked about our top three when George Bush threw the pitch after 9/11. That was that kind of baseball pitch. Even though nobody liked baseball, that pitch united a lot of people. And here we are, and sports have become like a ground of division. Like, why are we trying to put these political thoughts into it? Why not just play the sport and support the country that you're playing it in, that allows you to make money and play a sport? I guess I just don't get the why they would go that route and kind of disparage a fan base.
Well, I think that there's a lot of the places that do that a lot. It's because they don't have a strong passion in their sport. Like, you're not going to see any political stuff in Manhattan on any given Saturday night, or you didn't see it probably in Baton Rouge last Saturday when they were playing Alabama.
It's all about football.
Yeah.
And
Now,
if anything, some national pride sprinkled in there. I know K-State's real big on their, they do, not only do they have the national anthem, they recite the pledge and read the preamble to the Constitution at their home games. So, I mean, there's a lot of national pride, but it's not a political agenda, right? There's loving your country is not a, an R or a D thing. It's a,
Yeah, and I mean, this
we're
is
citizens here.
and this
but
is coming
they're
out.
going to the strict political agenda. Like,
right out of the gate is a relatively new league. I mean, you're already turning off potential fans because I could have been one of them. I mean, I think my daughter's got a pretty legitimate shot if she wants to of doing that. But some of the examples that are given there, like Megan Rapinoe, the U.S. women's team, who refused to stand for the national anthem during the Olympic, games, and it's like, okay, I'm done with U.S. women's soccer, and I was like, okay, go Canada, when they were playing them. So it's crazy to me that, and it's not a good marketing or business strategy.
No, well, the radical left is not about marketing or business. It's about alignment around everything that they are. And you can't, if we just say that there's some people on the right and you could stratify, you're like, well, he's this far right or this far right, or hey, we both, are in the same political party, but we have disagreements around this thing or that thing, and it's okay. You go on the left side, you have to be bought all in on everything, or else you're kicked out. There's not one thing that you could be
right.
So you have to be talking about Brittany Griner. I don't know why. She literally broke the law in a foreign country, and if you break the law in a foreign country, I did. Then I'm in trouble.
Right.
And then if you're saying, well, women, it's a women's pay issue, put a product out there that's valuable and that people want to pay for and go. And then the other, I saw a clip the other day of somebody complaining about how little the WNBA players get paid. A woman,
right.
And the dude was just like, how many WNBA games have you gone to?
Yeah.
She's like, well, I haven't. Well, he said, shut up. If you're not going to spend your money on it, don't complain about them not making enough money.
Yeah.
But from a political, you have to be all in. That's why. Never mind. I'll just stop. I was going to go even down a further.
I like
path.
it. Keep going.
No, but the
Chet's fired up, ladies and gentlemen.
the L's, the G's, the
B's, T's, Q's,
I was thinking that
pluses.
too. All the binary.
No, but I'm just saying
All the
that
Plus the pluses. They're the binaries.
There's
right?
some L's and G's that are very upset about what the T's are doing with children these days.
Oh, absolutely.
But you can't say that. They'll kick you out of the left if you disagree with any 1% of the agenda.
Right.
And so if you're gonna go and try to get the left to support women's soccer, you have to be that. You have to be all in. You cannot not say anything. By not saying anything, then you're a Nazi.
I would, well, yeah, but I would just say, according
You
to
said
the
the N-word, Nazi.
according to the left's take on everything, I mean, if it were me and I was starting a business, I would actually probably try to recruit the right, because as the left sees it, the right has all the money. That's what they always say. So if I was starting a business, that's who I would market to.
Nancy Pelosi has made millions in Congress.
They don't talk about
so
that.
is Joe Biden.
They
in
don't
the
talk
Senate.
about no. They're still broke. They're the average.
not broke.
That's average Joe.
That's
okay?
not
That's
average
just
Joe.
average Joe.
The average Joe. He was
Average Brandon.
He never mind.
And then I mean, and of course,
I feel ambushed. I feel ambushed.
You're holding your tongue too much.
We're talking about soccer, and then here we are. Thanks, Matt.
There
you
is
just
a-
you never know what directions it's going to take.
Hey, if you think Matt was prepared today, give us a thumbs up. If you think he was unprepared, give us a thumbs down.
Well, near where I live, you brought up Brandon. At Jimmy Davis Highway and Barstow Boulevard.
Yeah.
There's all week there was a Let's Go Brandon RV there selling Let's Go Brandon gear, and I've seen them. They're like tour the nation doing that.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. You brought up Brandon.
That's
those are everywhere.
that right wing ingenuity right there, making money. That's why they say that
Capitalism right there at its finest.
Yeah, and shame on them for trying to make money. But in any case, I mean, and here we are. We're on the heels as this is being recorded. We haven't voted yet. That's next.
It's coming up soon.
It's coming up here next week. Yeah. So who knows where we're gonna end up or what we're gonna do? But I mean, it's just again, it comes back to the division and why does everything always have to be so divisive? I mean, we're coming up on the holiday season. Let's just let's just join together. Unless the Republicans don't pick up enough seats, and then let's burn it down.
It's burning itself down.
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't. The match has been lit.
Yeah.
The powder keg is smoking.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
But anyway, that's what's been on my mind. Was I was sitting there watching that. I was enjoying a great game until they got all sign a card for Brittany Griner and women this, and we're supporting women, and we're doing this. And it's like, all right. I mean, I always kind of thought that women had a bunch of support anyway. I mean, so whatever.
Well, when girls are being raised to be told that they have to be female empowerment like that, and so naturally every women's sports collective is going to have that as a talking point, and so you're always going to get there
until you're not empowered, so because we're letting men come in and compete against you in your women's sports.
Yeah, I mean,
don't be that empowered where you have your own league. We need men to come in there now and swim.
It's not
with
exciting enough. Hey, go chop that off and get in there.
Yeah. No, there's no chopping. It's just declaring.
Oh,
yeah, you just identify without chopping.
Yeah, you don't even have to chop it anymore.
Yeah.
declare and suit up.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Our season
it.
sucks. Get in there,
Like,
Bobby.
like Michael Scott in bankruptcy. You just declare it.
I declare I'm female.
Oh God.
I don't think that's how it works.
What?
I'm just quoting
Oh,
Jim.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think that's how that works.
And they always have to have some other angle because in the bottom line, in the end, it's always an inferior product,
Right.
and it has to have a gimmick.
Well, it's most of the time an inferior product. I was at Louisiana Tech University in the 90s when it was more enjoyable to watch the women's basketball team than the men's basketball
Yeah,
team.
in the end, that was at the very end of the era.
Yeah.
That was because but
Yeah.
since then they've not been great. But in reality, the men's team would have still whipped the women's team
If they played each other, but it's about what level of competition can you bring to the opposing team and how fun and exciting would that be? And we've experienced 5,000-6,000 people coming to a conference women's basketball game versus 500 or 600 people at a men's basketball game. And in that case, the women had a superior product. It was more competitive. The chances they were going to win was a lot more. I mean, so we've seen it. Put a good product out there on the field and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
Are you referring to the lady texters?
Yeah,
for sure.
The Saints and the Chiefs don't have to do anything but get out there and be awesome. If they had a women's football league, they're going to have to do more than play football to get people to come in the stadium.
Well, that's why the women's indoor football team plays in bras and panties.
Yeah, the lingerie football.
Oh my God.
So, but yeah. But anyway, so speaking of women's sports and supporting women's sports, just to annoy Troy, I did attend the girls' high school volleyball state championship for my hometown.
You only did that? The only reason you went is like, I'm going to annoy Troy with this.
Yes, no, but I went to the game because I'd never been, and Dave's daughter plays, and I was like, oh, I'll go and support the team. That place was packed. Mm-hmm. We had so many fans there, and it was so loud. We embarrassed every other school as far as fans go, and I'd never been to a women's volleyball game before ever, and that was I almost needed like blood pressure medication because I was getting pretty fired up. Like it was a lot of fun.
That's what I'm talking about. Put a good product out on the court.
Exactly. And even though they took second place at state, they got beat by a private school, Bishop Miege, who can suck it. But it was a lot of fun to watch. And so, like you said, put a good product out, and you don't have to have a gimmick.
And I'm not anti-women in that regard. There's certain things that women do better than men.
Give birth.
There's certain things women do better than men, and I wouldn't want to go watch men do certain things. I'm not drawing a blank as to what they may be other than like modeling, but there's certain things.
That's a good one. That's a good place to start.
when it's going to come to physical contests, men are generally going to be better, and the women's league is going to be inferior.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not saying that I'm not inferior to all those athletes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I would get smoked by all these professional women in whatever their sport is.
And many other things too.
Yes.
All right.
Modeling. You might have them on that too.
Just depends.
Depends on what you're into.
All right.
You haven't
Anyway.
been to my OnlyFans page.
Oh God.
No, I'm just kidding. There's not.
The link will be in the show notes.
Oh, no, it won't. No, it won't. Chet says it won't be there, so it won't
Not
be
gonna
there.
be there.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back with our top 3.
At Admiral's Pennant, our mission is to offer the latest and refined, high-quality masculine products and services to the modern gentleman, as well as provide him with the tools and products necessary to look, act, and feel confident in his appearance and social interactions. Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave. And we're back.
We are back. We are headed into the top 3, which is today, top 3. Is it our favorite Vietnam War movies?
Just top 3 Vietnam
Or
War
just
movies.
top 3 Vietnam War movies?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to start with our special guest, and then we'll head over to Chet, and then we'll just go around the room. How about that?
Okay, I'm going first.
Yeah, do it.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to go first.
I just knew that you were prepared. You got
It
your
really
sheet
means a
with
lot
you
to
and
me,
everything.
yes.
You got to
So-
give Matt time to think about it.
Okay.
He probably just remembered what the top 3 was.
Just now.
And then,
So, and now that you do your top 3 and honorable mentions are last, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Or as you would call them, notable mentions, or
There's honorable
Notable.
notations, notable something.
There's honorable mentions, honorable notations, and then I don't remember
Yeah.
what they were.
Whatever. It
Okay.
was good while it lasted.
So, my number 3, I did a little quick look through, and I think my number 3 is Platoon. And a lot of people, I think, have it as like their number 1. And Oliver Stone, he based that, he based it off his life or his experiences in Vietnam when he went and fought there. And I've only seen it a couple times. It's not one I've seen over and over like some others on my list.
Yeah.
But I when I saw it, the last time I saw it, I kind of paid attention more to it a lot more, and I really, I thought it was really powerful, and it really, and now obviously I'm not a soldier or a Marine, but I think it really helped show what they experienced, which is what Stone was going for, and I thought it was just a powerful movie.
Matt is probably touting you for saying soldier or Marine.
Well, I know soldiers in the Army.
Yeah. Most people don't know that. So I'm just saying Matt just man crushed on you right now.
Well, I'm sorry,
I'm taking you out for a steak.
All right. Number 2, I went with Full Metal Jacket
Okay.
because it's just very awesome.
That's a good one.
It's really 2 movies. The first half is the boot camp part
Yeah.
Right.
with R. Lee Ermey as the drill sergeant, and then
Which is pretty awesome. You know the story. They
he was like
hired
a
him.
consultant, and then they're like, no, he's got to be the guy.
Yeah, because they hired.
Yeah.
Did you know this?
Yeah.
Did you know this? Oh, I'll assume that our whole audience knows this as well.
Well, no,
But
go
I
ahead and
should-
say it. They might not know.
Well, they hired him as he used to be a drill instructor, so they
Right.
hired him to consult, and then he was like stepping in to the actor that was playing the drill instructor and was like, "No, you got to do it like this," and then everybody was like, "Yeah, let that guy go. You just suit up and go
Yeah.
out here and do it."
Right.
And then he didn't have a script. Like when he was yelling at people, that was just what he would yell. Like apparently he's pulling back from his memory there. So
Yeah.
that was good.
I was about to try to do a quote, but I was like, I can't think of any that are audience appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah. probably
What
not.
the hell is that? A jelly donut? Anyway, that's about it. They're paying for it. You eat it. And then the second part of the movie is, when they're in battle. And I recently saw something. Animal Mother was the big guy. Mm-hmm. And through a big part of the movie, he's carrying around like a machete on his back. And like he doesn't use it in the finished movie. And then the thing I saw said that there was a scene where he cut somebody's head off but didn't make the final cut, and so he's like carrying around the machete in the final product for nothing. But anyway, Full Metal Jacket's an iconic movie. It really made R. Lee Ermey a star, and it's awesome. And that's why it's my number 2. And my number 1, it did not take place in Vietnam. It took place after Vietnam and dealt with the effects of Vietnam on people, and it's First Blood. And so I don't know if maybe your parameters are it had to be in Vietnam.
Nah.
But,
No
he
parameters.
comes home from Vietnam.
Right.
And all his, he has have a hard life, PTSD. Maybe it was less understood then.
Well, and a lot of the troops, the people he served with, that he's going to find.
Yeah, he's looking for him. The last one's Delmore Berry.
Yeah.
But, he had cancer.
Right.
Ate him down to the bone.
Yeah.
She could lift him off the sheet.
Copy leader calling Reagan.
Yeah.
Come here, John.
And then, all he wanted was something to eat.
That's all he wanted.
That cop had to push him.
Yeah. He drew first blood. The cop drew first
The cop
blood.
drew first blood, not Johnny.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good list.
it's just such an iconic movie.
That's a great movie.
So,
Is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Number 3, We Were Soldiers. That's
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, based on a book called We Were Soldiers Once and Young. But I think a really neat account of it's the first time they started using helicopters in the cavalry. And I thought one of the neat things about that movie is that it had like all the stuff going on the battlefield, but it also had the impact of the spouses at home, which I thought was pretty neat because a lot of times they don't have that dichotomy in the movies. So that's number 3. Number 2, going in a different direction that's gone so far. It's about those that got left behind and not found. So Chuck Norris goes back in
Oh yeah.
to pull them out. Missing in action. 1, 2, 3, however many there were, they're all awesome.
I think there were just 3
to
my knowledge.
Anytime you go back to Vietnam to pull people out, and then you've got huts blowing up all over the place with grenades. I'm telling you, school buses and all. It's all there. It's the missing in action movies.
Those are good, man.
A lot of fun with the old Chuck Norris there. On a similar note of going back and pulling people out of Vietnam, Uncommon Valor. That is a fantastic movie. If you haven't ever, Matt, you know
Gene
what I'm
Hackman.
talking about. Yeah, Gene Hackman, Patrick Swayze.
Fred Ward was Wilkes, the tunnel rat.
Ward, Wiltz. He could fight. He knew some.
Nice. He was good with the knife.
Yeah. It's just
What
awesome.
you had to have in the tunnel.
That's a great movie. I love it. I have it on DVD. That's one of the.
Did I give you that for Christmas or
I
something?
think you did.
Yeah.
I think you did. It was
Nice.
awesome. That was a great movie. Great movie.
Very good top 3. Another good one. Matt, you got your list prepared yet?
I do.
All right, good.
Number 3.
It happens to be the same that have already been mentioned.
Maybe. Good Morning Vietnam with Robin Williams. I like the comedy aspect of it.
This is movies about Vietnam, not with Vietnam in the title.
It is about Vietnam. He is a radio DJ
Oh, okay. Yeah.
providing entertainment for the.
You were Googling while we were talking, so I don't know if you.
Well, I was looking for another one because there are some similarities between our.
He's
top
just
threes.
making sure that you've seen it because some of the movies on your previous list you have not actually seen. So,
What would that be?
Star Wars.
I don't have to
Lord
know
of the
that they're
Rings.
overrated.
So, yeah.
I don't have
See?
to. Well, I don't have to watch them to know that they're overrated.
Let's go. Good morning.
Return of the
Vietnam.
Jedi was like the Vietnam of the stars.
Was
They
it?
were in the jungle, baby.
Wouldn't know. Wouldn't know. But
The forest jungle, the jungle moon of
Indoor.
Yeah.
But old Adrian Cronauer doing his radio podcast, entertaining the troops as they're out there fighting in the jungles, doing their thing, and then
Radio show. It wasn't a podcast.
no, it was not a podcast; it was
Yeah.
radio. Went out over Armed Forces Network, I would assume, which is what we had when we were deployed, was the AFN. But great movie. Robin Williams was a phenomenal actor, really. And then you got the you got the two sides of it. You got the happy where he's telling his jokes and he's doing his thing, and then all of a sudden the bar gets blown up and people he knows die, and all the chaos that surrounds it. Really good movie. Number 2 would also be Platoon, just because I think that it does show that damage that takes place mentally to a lot of guys. And I know Vietnam was a little bit different situation than what we've got going on today, even though the effects are the same. Because you got a lot of guys that that didn't sign up, that got drafted to go. So those mental issues were a little bit more prevalent, I think, in Vietnam than they are today. But really good movie that has some sobering points and shows the brutality of war, and just the things that some people can do to other people just based on hate instead of just out there doing a job. And then number 1, Full Metal Jacket. I've seen that movie. I don't even know how many times, and I've had the opportunity to meet both Animal Mother and Arlie Ermy. And Arlie Ermy is basically the same in person as he was on the screen. Like he didn't have to act,
right?
To do that, because he showed up when I was in the hospital doing physical therapy and was cheering guys on in the Arlie Ermy way.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then Animal Mother actually had to have dinner, and he's a big gun owner and has a bunch of machine guns, and so I mean he's pretty awesome. But great movie, like I said, and it is a 2-part movie where they should have had a tape 1 and a tape 2, because it's just 2 completely separate movies. The only thing that keeps it together is the actors, because they go off on a completely different tangent and don't even flash back to anything that happened in the first part.
I like that though.
Born to Kill.
Well, but I think I think it was built that way specifically to show the difference between this is boot camp. It's kind of funny and everybody is getting jacked up a little bit, and then you go to the combat side of it and it just gets because you completely forget boot camp. I mean, it's not even a thought in your head when you're overseas. But
yeah,
they talk about the duality of man.
The duality of man.
Very good.
Troy.
All right. Number 3 is the greatest beer run ever.
Have you seen it?
I have.
Is it good?
It's a good movie.
It looked like it was good. I wanted to watch it. I didn't know it was already out.
It's on Apple TV.
Oh, that would be right.
Apple
Who's
Plus.
the beer runner?
Zac Efron is the actor.
I don't like the guy, but okay.
He plays a good part. I like it because there's a lot of comedy in it, but they do bring a true aspect of war to it, and it's from his perspective, his point of view. Because apparently he was in the military before, and then he was out, and his whole deal was like all the guys and a bunch of the guys in his neighborhood got drafted to Vietnam, and he's like, well, I'm going to bring them beer, and so he packs up some beer and finds a way over there on a ship, and he gets there and he tries to find them, and he acts like a CIA poses as one to get around, and he kind of like falls on that with one of the guys, and yeah, it's funny.
And just so everybody, that is based on a true story.
It is. At the very end of the movie, like during the credits, they show the real guy the movie's about, and some of the guys that lived through Vietnam. So it's pretty cool. Definitely worth a watch. Number 2, I had Platoon as well. I remember watching that as a kid a lot.
As a kid?
Yeah.
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 I mean, I watched.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, back in the days of HBO and Cinemax, just watch whatever.
Yeah. You're just there in front of the TV. I was out like plowing fields.
Well, you were already 40.
I was in the country.
You were already 40.
I was in the country, like doing yard work.
Troy and I were still, when that came out. I don't remember what year that came out. But
we were probably 5th grade, something like that.
Yeah, we were, and he was full time job.
I want to say it came out in like 87. So
yeah,
and I didn't see it till it came on HBO, which would have been about 89. So that's about 10 or 11. That's about
pretty
right.
Pretty heavy for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Just in my humble opinion,
I wouldn't put it in front of my 10-year-old, but my parents didn't put me in front of it either. I watched it at friends' house.
You haven't been to Shreveport, have you?
No.
Living there is pretty heavy for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, very true. And then my number one, also Full Metal Jacket. That's just a phenomenal movie. Yeah.
It did, and that movie did make me go and check out because I'd never heard of Stanley Kubrick, and so I went and after watching that, got his whole collection, and
he's a good filmmaker.
It runs the gambit though.
There's a few Eyes Wide Shut, and then the Clockwork Orange. I would not recommend either one of those, but
Clockwork Orange is twisted.
Yeah, it's a wicked movie.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make you want to take a shower after you watch it.
Yeah,
because it's that evil. All right. Well, who's got honorable mentions or anything?
Yeah, probably not you guys because you're all like, hey, I'm going to see the same movies as everybody else.
Well, I got a couple of honorable.
Okay.
I have a couple of honorable mentions.
Go for it.
All right. Uncommon Valor was an honorable mention.
Okay.
And it almost made the top 3, but I couldn't put it over Platoon. And then Rambo, First Blood Part 2, takes place in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And, that's when we all learned the definition of expendable as children.
Expendable.
You're not expendable. What mean expendable? It's like if somebody has a party and it doesn't really matter if you show up. Or something. Basically, that's when we found out what it meant.
You spent a lot of time in front of a TV when you were a kid too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an honorable mention.
Okay.
Forrest Gump.
Really good one.
Lieutenant Dan. It's where he lost his legs in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs. Chet, do you have any?
No.
So, Tigerland,
Yep.
Casualties of War.
Mm-hmm.
And
Casualties of War was Sean Penn.
Sean Penn and
Michael J. Fox.
oh god, he's that
Yeah. I think, was it?
He was?
I think it was Michael J. Fox, wasn't it? No. I don't remember.
it might be. I forget. And then Rescue Dawn.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Rescue Dawn is super good, and it's actually based on a true story as well. If I remember correctly, let me
Yeah, I believe
fact
so.
check myself.
I haven't seen it, but I remember reading that.
Oh, yeah, that's Michael J. Fox. Fox and Penn. Casualties of War.
That one gets pretty twisted,
Yeah, I hadn't seen that
just
one in a
based
long
on
time.
the brutality.
I think I probably saw that in 91 on HBO because it came out in 89.
I mean,
So
we had HBO, and once your
was
parents
12.
went to bed, it was all bets are off.
No, what
HBO.
I used to do, Mom, I know you're probably listening, but I would set the VCR. I would just set it to come on at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. because they sent you the guide, the HBO
Yes.
Cinemix guide in the mail. And so you knew when everything was coming on. I would just record stuff during the night. My parents had no clue. Well, I think they had no
There's
clue.
a lot of things that you did that they didn't have a clue about.
True.
That's what
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah.
I think my dad knew about a lot of it.
Yep.
Yeah, so Rescue Dawn is based on a true story, but it is pretty good because they get captured and then they've got to try to come together to escape, and then one of them goes kind of insane and just shows the whole POW kind of hardship there from a guy who got shot down, his point of view.
Yeah.
So really good movie. I just watched that one not too long ago. Matter of
Right.
fact.
Wasn't is Tropic Thunder a Vietnam movie? Didn't
Yes.
that take place in Vietnam?
That's a good one.
I never saw it.
What? You haven't seen it?
I have not seen it.
Do you have things against the actors? Like, is there actors in there that you're like, I hate these guys?
No, I just never saw it.
I never saw that one either.
You haven't seen it?
I heard it was really good though.
I heard it was good. But
I've seen it.
there was like a stretch, and I'm really still in that stretch, where I don't see new movies. I just kind of watch all the old ones.
Yeah, it's like 15 years old. This is an old.
Yeah, it is an old movie.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I haven't seen
It couldn't be made now.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
no.
honestly, 21st century movies, I don't see too many of.
All right. Wow, we're gonna make it. We're gonna get that figured out.
It's pretty funny.
It will make you laugh. It's hilarious.
Just a dude acting like a dude playing another dude.
All right, Chet, bring us our good word today.
A good word is coming out of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 33. It's a short verse, but it is very impactful.
I thought you were going to go with the wedding verse, love, 1 Corinthians.
No.
Because you were here?
Yeah, he loves me.
Hey, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. So the good word is kind of like on the friend side because you're here, but you find good people and be around them. Like, because if you find the bad people, the bad company corrupts good character. So if you are not satisfied with the way that you're behaving, you need to check your friend list and see who you're spending time with. And according to Scripture, you need to be around people that are not bad company. And because you could take the inverse of this, right? So if bad company corrupts good character, good company would help support good character. So find the people that are good for you and invest time in being with those individuals. And you could find like what we have here at the table. For me, we're 25, 6, 7 years. I don't do math on the fly.
Oh, like you talking about how long I've known you?
Yeah. How long we've been friends?
96, 97. So
Yeah. 95, 96. We had this discussion last night. You're off a year, but a long time ago. And then Troy coming in when I became interested in his sister.
It's 26 years, by the way.
And then Matt. Like, so Matt is, as far as my close friends goes, one of the youngest.
Youngest.
Youngest at the table.
Most
too,
immature. No, but I think it's really neat that when you find good people, stick with them. And if you are in bad company, it is going to hurt you. So get out of it. Find some good company. That's my good word.
I agree. That also is good in business as well. If you want to succeed in business, it's good to surround yourselves with other people that are doing well or doing as well as you want to do in your business.
Yeah,
like for business owners.
Find the good thing.
Yeah.
And if you're around people that are like doing shady stuff, get away from that.
Yeah, it's like my dad always used to say, like, if you go to that house, something happens, doesn't matter. If you're there, you're part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in my line of work, there's always, and when I was doing criminal law, a bunch of kids. It wasn't mine; it was theirs. Well, you know what? They arrest everybody there.
Yeah,
and let the courts figure it out.
Right.
Which may not be the
most
best
just
thing
way to go about it.
Most just way, but it happens.
Yeah.
And if you have the another good illustration of that is, you don't let other people you don't know ride around in your car and talking about for younger people, because when the cops, they'll throw those drugs in the floor, and then not mine, it was somebody else's. Well, it's your car.
Yeah.
So, but I think like anything else in the Bible, it all goes with it. You got to also consider other verses with it too. So while that's definitely true, you don't want to just be like, oh, you're not good people, I'm never speaking to you again. You have to gracefully and, in a Christ-like manner, carry that out, because you still want to be a good witness to people. And
this is talking company, right?
Yeah.
This is not acquaintances, right? This is the company you
right.
keep, right? So yeah, absolutely. Good response there.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.